When the road was broken, she chose not to break. Through the pain and the pressure, faith made a way. Sickle cell tried, but it couldn't steal her flame. She turned every trial into purpose and praise. Single mom strong, with Kobe by her side. Love is her strength, hope is her guide. This is a journey of faith. Watch her rise, grace in her story, fire in her eyes. From surviving to shining, no fear, no shame. When the road was broken, she chose not to break.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sickle Cell Sunday. I have the amazing Alexandria with us as our guest speaker today.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm good. It's Saturday, long week, so I'm just happy to just be doing nothing.
I understand that part. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, I feel like that's always a hard question. I'm born and raised from Atlanta, Georgia. I lived in DC for the last 9 years. I just moved back to Atlanta, which has been great. I have sickle cell disease, sickle cell type SC. Despite it all, I feel like I live a very full, fulfilling life. The job that pays, I'm an engineer at a tech company, and then I also have a nonprofit that uses film to spread sickle cell awareness. And we have a social impact production company as well that actually produces these narratives. So that's like what I do. And yeah, I'm typically a yapper. If I'm not too tired, I like to yap, like to eat, like to travel, like to have fun. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Tell us about your nonprofit organization.
Yeah, so it's called hemoglobin. So same way that is like the blood test that gets done to detect like, if you have sickle cell disease. So it's like a play on that.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of it spelled like the way you typically spell hemoglobin, we spell it HEMOGLOW, like glow, and then
Mm-hmm.
BIN. The glow stands for giving life over worry. And yeah, it started in 2022 after a near death experience that I had. And I wanted to really figure out across the sickle cell landscape, like where I feel like I can not only provide some type of value to the community, but like um, what I felt like was kind of missing at that time, which was like
Mm-hmm.
really finding and strengthening our stories, but like in a really cool, unique narrative way that goes beyond you know, simple documentary styles or just like simple interviews. Like, how do we actually like take and like uplift these stories and scale them out across wider audiences and things of that nature? So that was how we started. We did our first project. It was called My Warrior Stories. Think of it as like a mini docu series. So we interviewed two warriors, a man and a woman, just to get like some insight of who they are beyond sickle cell, but also how sickle cell impacts them. From there, we uncovered like some themes that we noticed across both of them, which was like economic mobility. So we tried to address that with the organization, try to build the first of its kind like business accelerator. That's still in ideation, still in funding, still figuring it out. But yeah, so we kind of transitioned to doing a lot more like program initiative things with the organization and moved a lot of like our production house abilities on the actual official production company that is separate from the nonprofit and which has been taking most of my time right now.
I completely understand that. How was the transition between moving from DC back to Georgia?
Oh, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think like if you ever moved across state line, if you ever moved in general, but if you've ever moved across state lines, it's always going to be a growing pain. But
Yeah.
I was why I moved back, a lot of reasons, but in relation to sickle cell, like when I was heavily focused on the nonprofit, Georgia has like I think the fourth largest sickle cell population, so
Mm-hmm.
our impact could stretch a lot further here in the state of Georgia. And yeah, it just made sense of like where the nonprofit, where the production company was going, where I was going personally in my personal life. So it was just time to make the move. So regardless of how annoying the move was, I was happy regardless to be back home. So for the most part, like it went fine. however long ago September was, almost a year.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. So with your sickle cell, I know you said you have SC. What complications or things that you have that comes with your sickle cell?
Well, I'm sure, as you know, everyone is different. So I'd say for me, it depending on the stage that I am in my life, as in like adolescence or college or young adult, like it has changed. When I was younger, I was more frequently sick, in terms of like pain crises. And then once I started to get more active, physically, so I was in high school. I danced a lot, and so that actually helped me a ton. So in high school, I really had like this really great grace period of rarely having any crises. I don't think I was like hospitalized for like almost all of high school. And then got to college, and of course, you're dealing with like now a new environment. You're exposed to different triggers because now I'm in DC, so the air is different, the weather's different, all those things. So I'm starting to get a little bit more sick. I got hospitalized a few times, but not enough where it was causing disruption to my day to day or like my life in general. It was like I can get sick, and then once I'm released, I'm back to regular scheduled programming. Um, and that was mainly just pain as well. And then when I graduated college, that was when I started to see like more like organ impact. So that's when I had like early stage retinopathy in my eyes, so I had to get a few laser treatments. I had a near death experience in 2022, which was actually due to an allergic reaction to one of those IV treatments. I can never pronounce it, but the short term is Crez. I had a bad allergic reaction to it. It landed me in the hospital for like 2 weeks. I lost the ability to like walk, had to learn how to rewalk, had to get a few blood transfusions. It was really scary.
Oh
But in
God.
that moment, I discovered I had a vascular necrosis in my hip as well. So that's when I noticed like just like some of like the undercover things that it's not expressed as pain, but the body is still sickling, so it still has an impact.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, so it has its moments, but I would for me, day to day is day to day I'm good. Day to day I don't experience pain every day.
That's good.
Yeah, which is really a blessing. I always acknowledge that. I think with having sickle cell, we never know what our full energy could be because our hemoglobin is naturally low. So I don't even know what it's like to have a normal energy level. I don't know. So my normal energy level is maybe different from those. So but I say it to say sometimes I know if I'm feeling fatigue or just tired, I just need
Yeah.
like moments to rest. But um yeah, it has it has never stopped me completely from living my life. I've
That's
had to
good.
take moments, but it's never stopped me.
It took gave you that pause, but never made you stop. That's
Yeah.
because I know for a lot of people, like especially with sickle cell, it of course it's a physical thing, but it's also a mental thing.
Mhm.
So having that mental impact of, what we go through on a daily basis, a lot of people like, I just want to quit, but it's good that you just say, hey, I'm gonna take a few, like probably take a couple days and be like, I'm gonna take a break, but I can't quit. So that is awesome.
Exactly.
Tell me about for your hip. What was the name of it
Oh,
again?
AVN.
AVN. What has that been for you, like, or were there any type of complications?
So I feel like I'm a very unique case, knock on wood. Because again, I only discovered it because I was in the hospital for something else. Actually, I was having pain in the other hip. So I thought something was wrong in the other hip. And then they did the full body MRI, and they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Are you sure it's not your left hip?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "Are you sure it's not your right hip?" I'm like, "No, it's my left." They're like, well, we're seeing a lot of action in your right hip, and you have no pain in your right hip. I'm like, no, the pain's in my left hip.
Crazy.
So I say it to say, with the vascular necrosis, it's like death of the bone, and so this is something that degrades over time. You don't really know it until it starts to bother you. And so it's never bothered me. So I never got the MRI in that area
Mhm.
to even know when it started. And it's kind of still consistent in that way. Like when I went to I believe it's orthopedic, the bone doctor, he explained it like the way that I was bearing my weight, I likely didn't have complications because my weight wasn't where the degrading was happening in my hip.
Okay.
I wasn't pressing much weight on it, so it didn't it wasn't a bother. And so because of that, God, bless him, he was like, he's not an advocate of doing surgery just to do surgery. You should really only do hip replacements when you absolutely need to, because they don't last forever. You have to get them done every 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, technology may change, but as of today, when you get one, you gotta. And I'm only in my
Go
20s.
in.
I'm in my late 20s, so that means I would have to get it done in my 40s and my 60s. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like trying to prolong it if it's not causing me pain. Um, I would say when that happened, though, you talk about mentally. Like, I was always physically active most of my life, and then in 2022, when that happened, I was just so afraid to hurt myself, so I stopped being active for like 2 years.
Mhm.
So that's when I started like almost making pain in my head, because it wasn't the ABN. It was just, now I'm stiff. Now I'm less flexible. Now I'm losing
Yeah.
muscle. I'm losing strength. So it was actually making it worse than better. So now I'm in a phase in the last year and a half where I've been working out again, doing Pilates, doing strength training, all the things. Cause when, because I eventually will have to get a replacement, because it's just no, we're, you know, cure to it. Um, the recovery be a lot better. So like when you're active, when you have mobility, when you're strengthening those muscles and those joints, the recovery will be like a lot faster. So that's in my mind. I'm like, okay, I gotta continue to work out. So if this happens, I can recover quicker.
I love that. And I love your mindset about what you go through. Like, oh, you know what? I can do this. I can, if I start working out, if I stay active, just you have such a high spirit, and I love that about you.
Oh, thank you. Girl, it takes time.
Trust me, I do understand that. What helps you get through like pain crisis, or even when you go through like mental states of what we're going through, what you go through on a daily basis?
Yeah, I always, not that I don't struggle to answer this, but I do realize, however it's going to be received is going to be subjective as well too. I think everyone has their own toolkit of what works. Um, for me, my faith is like a big driver. So, I'm Christian, and that has been something that I know 100% has like really helped me a lot on really like dark and scary and fearful times. So 100% my faith. Paired with that therapy, I've been in therapy for a very long time. So like it is a privilege to be able to have that type of resource and be able to talk in a space that's safe, and I can be as blunt and honest as I need to. Um, so I've just really learned how to process how I feel and
Yeah.
source where that feeling is coming from and really unpack that. Um, and it's not perfect. I don't have a remedy to it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
think there's like a medicine that's gonna just be like, oh, everything is gonna be great. I think for me, it's acceptance. For me, it's been, how do I get to a point of acceptance? And how do I experience joy even when I'm having a really terrible day? Because joy doesn't equate to happiness. I could be really angry and still find joy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is just a state of being. So that's just for me. What works for me, and loving on my family and my friends, and be allowing myself to be human and to cry and to release it and not to hoard it, but to just let it pass me. And I'm just like, if I'm here, I'm here. I'm still meant to be here.
Yes.
That means there's still work to be done, and life is meant to be lived and enjoyed. And yeah, and the days I spent too much in despair, it's like I've robbed myself of more continuous good days.
Yes.
It's like, I don't want to rob myself of that. Yeah.
The having faith, like I know for myself, it's been a huge journey, especially with going with having sickle cell and dealing with the day-to-day basis and pain crisis and hospital visits and the unknown. Faith has brought us, well, for me, I know it's brought me through a lot. And just knowing that, you know what, God is a provider, God is a protector, God is a
Mm-hmm.
healer. And I literally say the scripture to myself all the time: by his stripes, I am healed. So
Mm.
everything that we go through, because we're still breathing, we're walking, we're talking, we still get to be active, we are still healed. Yes, we may have sickle cell. Yeah, we may have things that other things that we may carry, but by his stripes, we are healed because we get to still do daily things, and still give him the highest praise that he absolutely deserves. So I just
Amen, girl. Absolutely. Retweet to everything you said.
oh, I love that. How was support system like growing up? Do you have like a huge support system, or even in the medical field?
Yeah. I also I after doing some work with the nonprofit and like communicating with other warriors in the community, I didn't realize how massive my support system was and how much of a privilege that was too. Like sometimes when you're used to always having people around you, you think it's the norm, and then you realize, oh, that was like you were really lucky. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't fathom or imagine what it would be like to have to really navigate certain things by myself. Like that is a lot, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So for me, like I've two active parents that were like always there with me and for me. I have a sibling, an older sister, so I'm the youngest, so she's always protector mode as well. I've always been blessed to have really good friends and friends that have never made me feel less than or small because I've had this. They never viewed it as a limitation either, because I mean, I'm like one of the hardest working people they probably know. So they're just like, all right, girl, this ain't gonna stop you. So what do you need to get you back on track? Do you just need to be distracted? Do you just want guests? Like, what do you need? So I always have always been so super lucky to have people around me that genuinely love me and care for me and just want to extend themselves. Um, and then in the medical fields, I feel like I got lucky as well, particularly pediatric. You know, I'm in Atlanta, so I went to Children's Scottish Rite. I think any children's, everyone can, that's a whole different topic. But with children's, I had a really great medical team as
Yeah.
a child. And in Atlanta, like, you know, a lot of my doctors are Black. And so that also aided in, you know, not having to deal with like the stereotypes and things like that are the medical discrimination that sometimes that often happens in our community.
Mhm.
And then I say this to say because environment is important and where you live is important because that impacts your resources and people's overall biases and things like that. And so when I moved to DC as a young adult, I'm in a highly resource rich area, you know, so they have the resources and the knowledge. Now there are still ignorant things that happen that transition from, you know, childhood to adult care was a transition, but I eventually found my way and I found a really good care team that really cared um and yeah, I learned so much about myself, my illness, a lot more as an adult. Um and then moving back here, I was nervous. I was transparently nervous about coming back to I guess a red state, as we say.
Yeah.
And how that would have its impact on me as a Black woman with the chronic illness with a disability. What would that experience be like? Because I didn't know what adult care would look like here. But I'm finding my way as well too. So at this thing with like proper research, like talking to folks, like
Mhm.
I'm a type of person where I don't go with the first. I'm not going to go with the first. I'm not going to stick with the first option if it's not satisfactory. So
Yeah.
if I experience something, I don't believe this is the best that it can get. No, I'm going to go find the care that I think aligns to what matters to me. And I feel like I've found that.
Now that you're back in Georgia and in the Atlanta area, where do you get your is your hematologist at?
So a little loaded, but I do go to the sickle cell clinic at Grady for my just regular proactive
Hmm.
appointments. So just getting my blood levels checked out, things of that nature. For acute pain, though, I do not no longer go to Grady. They're well aware and why.
Yeah.
No shade. I would give flowers to Grady. I appreciate where they take feedback and apply it. I will always respect that. But like I said, for me, you have one. I need. My life is serious. I love my life. I
Yeah.
cherish it. I don't gamble with my life. So I've been having good experiences at Emory, Clifton Road. So like their main
Okay.
hospital, like on Emory's campus. To be fair, I've only gone for for like ER and things like that, but I had a great ER experience. So as of now, that is where I will continue to go. I need fluids, medicine, or I need to go to the ER, Emory. I'm just going for regular sickle cell check-ins.
Mhm.
Great.
So this is for everybody that's watching. So I actually met Miss Alexandria on TikTok, I believe, and she was
Yeah.
telling her story. And crazy enough, we ended up meeting at the Sickle Cell Sanctuary in Atlanta. I love it there. How do you feel about the Sickle Cell Sanctuary?
I think it's great. Like I transparently haven't gone as a I don't know if patient is the right word, but like as a to actually really do the some of the services that they offer, which
Hmm.
I think are amazing. Ironically, where it's located is down the street from my childhood home. So like I always like in my head, like, oh, this would have been so amazing to have had 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So but
Yeah.
I'm so great that it's available now, like for everyone else that like really needs those services. So like it's beautiful. It's an amazing space what they've done with the space. They just have a dedicated area for sickle cell warriors. It feels like a holistic like a whole place where you get holistic services.
Yeah.
So the concept, I think it's amazing. Like, and I did the tour, which was awesome. But I have yet to actually go as like, yeah, to actually like try out some of the services. So that's on my list.
I can say when I've gone 3 times, I want to say, for their IV hydration.
Hmm.
And when I say they got you in these massage chairs,
Hmm.
and it's a full body massage. I love that. But when you're getting up and you like the next day, like I was filled with energy. Like I was just a whole brand new person. I was like, I don't know what this is.
Right, but it's doing
It's
something.
something different. And it lasts, I want to say, maybe 3 weeks. And usually, so what I tried to do was go before a blood transfusion to see
Mm.
the difference. And I felt totally brand new. Like, because usually right before a transfusion, I'm groggy, I'm tired, I'm just like not, I'm just out of it, like headaches and all that. But
Mm.
when I did the IV hydration and then went for my blood transfusion, I felt so good. I was shocked. I was definitely
Yeah, that is like I'm so happy to hear that thing and like hydration is key. Like, so when I'm having a little pain, I'm like, okay, I know it's not a type of pain where I'm going to get admitted, but I'm going because I'm looking for fluids, I'm looking for rounds
shocked.
of medicine, etc. But I'm like, but again, a lot of my things are reactive when I do it that way. I think what I like about the hydration center, it's like I could be proactive. If I'm just feeling fatigued but not pain yet, let me
Yeah.
just go get some hydration and see how that makes me feel. It's it's reminding ourselves that we deserve to feel good and deserve
Yeah.
to have the best energy that we can. And so if there's resources to go get it, go get it.
I always say that people that have sickle cell ended up getting a superpower.
Hmm.
Superpower did you get from your sickle cell?
It's so funny you say that because the common thing that I realize in the community, which is I don't crazy is not the word, but it's like it's so insightful. we all, most of us view it as like this, as a superpower. I've always said that as a kid. I was like, it just feels like this superpower. It has given me, it's not one word, so it's gonna be probably a lengthy response. But I feel like when you go through something like this and you have damn near tasted death at like an age that's just not, you're not supposed to even conceptualize,
Mhm.
you just have you are given a different lens, a different pair of lens of life. And so I feel like at an early age, the concept of life like drastically changed for me.
Yeah.
I think for the better. So I just adopted this mindset of like, on good days, on my best days, I do the best. I give the best that I can. You know what I mean? Like I've just grown to adopt this mindset of like, I'm gonna live my life to the fullest, and I'm not gonna let what I was born with and didn't ask for limit me. And yeah, in hindsight, that was the superpower. Like it just gave me this. I feel like it gave me the mindset that I carry today. It's like, all right, these are the cards that are handed to me. Did I ask for it? But this is what I got, and how do I make the best plays out of it? And that's just like how I think. Um, I'm working on a documentary right now. It's in post production for a young man for a guy that has sickle cell as well, and I can share this because he says it in the doc, but he says that his superpower is empathy. And I second that as well. I feel like I'm able to empathize with so many different people because of what I've gone through. So I'm never in a place where I feel like I could righteously even sit on any type of high horse in life. Like life living with sickle cell is the most humbling thing because you can, and when I'm in that mindset, everything's great. I'm living my best life, woo, woo, woo. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, my shoulder. Wow. Okay. You know what I mean? You have these very come to Jesus grounded moments that
Yes.
quickly bring you back to your reality.
Yep.
And so because of that, I feel like I can really empathize with just people in general with whatever they're going through. Or I'm not where I feel like I'm slower to judge. I'm not saying I'm perfect. We all probably have moments where we judge, but I think I am slower to judge
Hmm.
because you cannot see what meets all that meets the eye with people, because people can't see all that meets the eye with me. People can come up with whatever assumptions they can, but you wouldn't know all the things I've gone through in my life. So very lengthy response, but that's a superpower.
I love that. Actually, I do. What would you tell the next generation of people that are coming up with sickle cell?
Yeah, I think that we are in such a pivotal and massively hopeful time for sickle cell.
Yeah.
And I predict that many young people will not hear what we heard growing up of like putting these massive limitations over your life, almost like people trying to declare of how long you have to live. And having to navigate and battle these looming fears. And I would want for the new generation of sickle cell to see themselves represented, but see themselves represented as full human beings, people that like, you are a human first before your illness. Your illness does not define you as a part of you, but it is not your identity. Sickle cell should not
Yes.
be your identity. It should be something that you just happen to have, that you are navigating and navigating well. And they should remain hopeful. I genuinely believe in the next 10, maybe even shorter with the speed of technology, but the next 10, 20 years, I do believe we'll have an actual cure, a real cure, if you get what I
Yes.
mean. And so it's something that like actually where they may not be able to have to live with it it may not be a lifelong illness for them as it is for most of us. So my prayer is that I hope they remain hopeful and joyful, and they strive to live a very full, fulfilling, and impactful life.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Would
Mhm.
you mind telling everybody how they can find you?
Yes. So my personal Instagram is the alist.co. Don't laugh at me. It's my college days. So like the and then a list.co. And give you my personal Instagram because that is where in my bio you'll find the link to the nonprofit Instagram as well. But it's just HB Globin. So HBGLOWBIN is our Instagram as well. We're primarily on TikTok. And then to be dated on the Glow Studios Instagram, where I'm investing a lot of my time and resources in producing sickle cell narratives. But yeah, that's how you can find me.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna definitely put that down in our link, so that way people can get in contact with you and see what ways they can help with hemoglobin as well. And if people want to tell their story, because I feel like every story, it is magical, it is needed, and it is
Mhm.
definitely something that the world needs to know. So
Absolutely. Like I feel like forever in my life, I will always pick up a camera and listen to the
yes.
next warrior story. Because when I tell you, after doing this for the last 3 years, we're all so the same, but so different in the most
Hmm.
beautiful way. And I think it's important for people to see the layers and the nuance of it, of we're individuals. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That share
Yes.
something common, but we're still individuals. And I think it's informative and helpful for not only the next generation, but current folks to realize, oh, like these things are certain things are possible that go
Hmm.
outside my scope that I thought was impossible. Or certain things are, wow, I can really relate to this. Like this is my day to day. And I'm glad that like someone is also sharing that same thing. There's a lot. But yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for being a guest speaker. I do really appreciate you being on, and telling your story, helping the next generation or hearing, letting people know that sickle cell can't hold you back.
it can
It
it will.
can't hold you back. It's
It
only a
will.
mindset.
It is. And I appreciate you a ton. Thank you for like always like, thinking of me and giving me
Yes.
the opportunity to speak and be on this amazing platform and community that you're building. I'm very
Thank you.
excited for you and wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I hope you have a blessed rest of your day and enjoy your Saturday.
Thank you, girl. I will. You too. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.